It's day 29 of designing Animal Crossing Island in 30 days on hard mode. And yesterday, we did a ton of work around our island and just all kinds of projects. Today, we're taking a little field trip. You may or may not recognize this island, but this is Whiz, the island that I made during my previous 30-day challenge pretty much a couple years ago now, actually. And I thought it would be fun to take a quick visit because we are about to try to hit 5 stars on our island. Oh, look, there he is. We're about to try and hit 5 stars, and it's not going super well. We just hit 4, and we have today and tomorrow to hit 5. So I thought it would be good to walk around and take in all the scenery, because this is what a 5-star island looks like. That was done in 30 days. Granted, there were more things going for this island because I was time traveling to get the different DIYs and things like that. So the island has a lot of diversity, but as I walk around Whiz, I want you to take it all in and consider how many things you're seeing, both in terms of the foliage and the amount of items. We need to ask ourselves, is this enough? Are we able to compete with Whiz, of all places, a perfect 5-star island? Over here was my house plot where I was growing potatoes. Of course, I did fully upgrade my house in this run. We have different little nature walks similar to what we've been creating in Grimvale. And this back here, this is kind of interesting actually. I've been meaning to kind of revisit to look at this very spot. This is like a forest where I just didn't have any items or ideas of what to put. And so I just kind of decorated with shrubs and flowers. This was the entrance to our secret beach, which I managed to throw some items down on. And as I look around, I'm trying to decide how I feel. Do I feel like I've done enough to compete with this island in terms of getting 5 stars? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to get 5 stars. There's a lot of stuff you have to put down. You have to, everything counts as points. Every tree, every item, every flower, the stages of growth for all of those things, they all, various amounts of points towards 5 stars. I can already tell you that Whiz feels like it has a lot more trees than we're currently working with on Grimvale. And there's a lot of stuff overall. There's still certainly areas like this that don't have a ton of items on them. Like, we can still see plenty of grass. It's not like your island has to have an item on every square inch of it or anything like that. But there's a lot here. There's a lot to see. One area in particular that I remember decorating a lot was this spot here, which was just like, I have some kind of like good mushroom kind of items. I wanted to put them down somewhere, and so I made that whole little kind of area that looks a little bit overgrown. We had 5 stars long enough on this island to actually get these flowers, which was pretty impressive. And look at this, we even have a potluck on this island too. It seems like this is a recurring theme. I'm always gonna have a potluck on the island. Up here is actually pretty vacant when you look at it. It's just kind of a picnicking area with a couple trees and picnic baskets, and that's it. Really nothing else. So are we doing enough? Can we get 5 stars today before the last day of this challenge? I don't know, but we're gonna try. It sure would help on our way to 5 stars if I didn't keep forgetting very, very basic rules of Animal Crossing. For example, if you're going to harvest money trees every single day, it's probably for the best that you keep planting them every single day. And so yesterday I scooped up this money tree, but I didn't replant it. Now, it doesn't matter. Some of these trees were never gonna grow in time anyway. Today, we'll be taking the money off this tree gently, and we can actually just use the tree now as a decoration. Not far away is the beach DIY. Hopefully we get something kind of cool. It's the Ironwood Low table, or as I've been referring to it, as a Marshall's table this whole time. We got Marshall's table. And Molly's cooking for the other DIY, so it doesn't look like we're getting anything we're going to be able to actually, use as a cool decoration on the island. I was noticing on Whiz we had the mum cushions, for example. So cool. Stuff like that is really nice to have. Just items that you can use multiples of. Like, I made really good use of those in the previous 30-day challenge. At least we're getting some decent miles, though. We need these because we're going to have to raid an island or two today to try and get the last foliage we need for this island. I meant to say last, bits of foliage. Trees, maybe flowers, stuff like that. And, oh, I forgot to customize this. See, I have all these grand plans. But as you can tell, this island, I'm just running around trying to do all this stuff before the time runs out. And I keep missing things. Things that I know I said yesterday I was going to do that just didn't get done. So I'm going to call it right now and say that, yeah, I'm not feeling that great about our possibility, our potential for reaching 5 stars. But we'll check the rating before the end of the day. We'll see. In other bad news, our pink tulips Didn't even spawn another pink tulip. Oh my god. At least now, though, we have some more hybrids to join this side of our little hybrid garden. So if nothing else, it looks a little more full and finished, and I do like that. I'm going to go ahead and not plant a money tree today because I just don't see myself harvesting it on time. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna retire that money making method. In fact, at this stage, money itself is no longer really a concern. As I get the money rock, we're really pretty good now. I can't really order from the catalog anymore. I'm not trying to fund any more projects around the island. You know, we're good. What we need are Nook Miles. By the way, in case you were wondering, there is indeed no weekly challenge today because, well, tomorrow's the last day. So we don't really have time to complete one, but those were a lot of fun. I want to thank Cora, Wilbo, and Kato for sending those over. I really enjoyed, being thrown some curveballs. And I know that, some of them could have gone even harder in terms of like challenge level. But to be fair, with Wilbo's, we just got really lucky, almost in a way that felt scripted. And with Kato's challenge, it took a while to get cooking up and running to where we can actually get like 10 different things to put on tables and stuff like that. So, Cora's challenge was definitely the nicest in terms of completability, and it was a good first challenge to tackle. So I appreciate how they kind of like in different ways ramped up in difficulty. If I ever did this again, though, I might encourage people to, throw me even harder curveballs and see what happens. And it looks like I've earned an item for getting my daily cup of coffee, the recipe for the Roost Sable Cookie. I was hoping that the first item was like an item, like the bag of coffee or something like that, but that's okay. I was just crafting up some items and Samson barged into my house, but this is the one time I actually would like to see somebody, especially Samson, because I have a present for him. And I mean, again, this is one of our last opportunities to maybe get his photo. Kind of doubt that'll happen here, but let's entertain him for a bit. We'll talk to him, we'll play a game, and then I'll try and give him his photo. But who knows, maybe this visit amplifies our friendship points to the point where he's like, yeah, hang this on your wall. He brought us an apple. So I think I did speculate early on that villagers can bring you a fruit, and maybe that's the way to get all the fruits that you couldn't normally get as of, the 2.0 update when they started barging into your house. But I already have apples. So maybe it's just sister fruit. I don't know. Tell me your experience about getting rare fruits from villagers when they barge into your house. He wants to play some high card, low card, so he's going to give me a firefighter uniform that I will immediately sell, I guess. Oh, of course, it's right in the middle, too. I'm going to guess high card, I think. And I was right. I get a firefighter uniform. Yay. Okay, so he won't let me give him a gift, and he is tired of being here. So he's going to leave, and then I will just go find him again and give him a gift. All right, let's see if this works. I'm just going to give him a fossil that I got earlier, and then he's going to give me a cardigan. I really don't think, and I'm glad I didn't make it a goal to get a villager photo, but I really don't think we get his photo by tomorrow. So on my person right now are a whole bunch of random items, and I'm going to try to use them to make some sense out of some of the builds here on the island. Starting with a Mr. Flamingo. With all the colors here, I'm actually probably not going to customize the lifeguard chair because, yeah, I think when it comes to beaches, it's fun to have like a lot of colors and stuff. And then over here, ooh, wait a minute. What's this? It is a pennant. That's a wall-only item, so we can't really do much with that out here. Over in this area, I realized that, hey, I have a bit of glowing moss from our few trips to Captain Islands. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of like plant a little bit and jungleify this area even further. I always forget I have this stuff. I think it makes like really good like natural looking clutter. I'm not gonna put too much. I'm just kind of like spamming a bunch to see what kind of variations we get, and then just picking up basically what I don't want. So yeah, we can kind of have it look like that, I think. We'll throw one behind this shrub here, and then maybe one behind the sign right there. But see, sometimes they just turn out to be exactly the same, so you got to keep like planting until you get ones you want. We can even go so far as to put one all the way back here, and I think it would be even, good to put some on top of the cliffs up by the house as well. So yeah, less of it up here, but just in a couple spots here, here, and here. Not in the way where people would walk necessarily. And I only have a couple left on me, but I think I have more in my storage. This is the kind of stuff that we can also put in the kind of other forest by Sylvana's place. And yeah, it just looks nice. It's like a fun item to play with. Oh my gosh, I just got so lucky. This is the hairstyle. Okay. I thought I was gonna have to wait until I went through all the other ones in the order in which I unlocked all the different characters, but we got it. Harriet took mercy on me. Oh, I could take off this mask now. My character feels whole again. I don't have my beard, but I mean, this is absolutely okay. The real reason I was here was to try and get some of this stuff customized that I actually grabbed before I left, and we'll go ahead and do that. Well, first, let me see the stone arch. Okay, there's a mossy variety. We'll go ahead and, I don't need the money. We'll have him do that. But yeah, I have a whole bunch of items on me that we ordered yesterday. And so I thought we'll get them customized so we get ready to actually start our building projects today. In case you were curious, because today the stock turned over, Leaf never gave us potatoes. We couldn't have grown them anyway because, as I said yesterday, I want to make sure that we're growing food that is going to be fully grown by tomorrow, but it would have been cool if he had that last vegetable for us, or a bit of produce, not really vegetable. Now that we're back, we can start to just get these new items placed down, and I'm going to begin by putting down this chair, wherever it is. I customized the public bench, just made it, black and white, and yeah, looking good. This place is now feeling a little more intentional. As I've said 100 times, trees, we're going to be putting those back behind it. It's going to look pretty good. We probably don't need this table anymore. Over in this area, we're going to be putting the big pergola. And I think what I'm going to do is probably weave some little dirt paths like around it and underneath it. And then we'll decorate around those. So I don't know if it's going to go here exactly, or maybe it goes like right here, giving us an excuse to put a little path from Molly's house to Samson's house or something. Or something in between there. I don't know yet. The idea behind the stone arch is that I was going to make more of them, but we just have one. And it was going to go in here. As you can see, that's not really working out, is it? What if it went over here? From the other side of the river, I bet that looks pretty cool. Then we get over to the campsite. Oh, the campsite. I'm going to do a little tiny bit of path work. Something I just saw when we were on Whiz was a thing that I like to do under these benches that I forgot to do, and that was to put like a little dirt path just underneath them. And that's, I guess, a way to show that, like, oh, if you use the bench a lot, the grass underneath will probably wear away, I guess. So, I don't know, this little kind of like way of designing when you're not using the custom paths from the internet is nice. I kind of like the way this can end up looking. We put it just like that, and I think that looks a lot better. I also got the camping sign, the campsite sign. And I could put it here, or I can make it kind of part of the backdrop to this place, which is kind of tempting. If I move the cot especially, I could put it maybe right here. It's pretty big, but yeah, it could fill in this spot kind of nicely. And wow, it lets us push it pretty far back too. So that's kind of cool. We could even still put the camping cot in front of it if we wanted to, but I had some other stuff too. I have the portable radio, which, as I've mentioned in the past, plays a bunch of random songs, and I don't really like that. I also got another lantern, which I think is just always a fun, nice little item to put down for campsites. However, putting it here prevents you from kind of walking over. Well, you can kind of walk over here. If you needed to fish here, it makes it a little bit more challenging. Well, maybe not. So yeah, we could just put the lantern here. In fact, better idea. I think we put down some more dirt paths. And this one is a bit tricky. I believe it's possible to place a path underneath part of the campsite on the right here, where this tiny little sign is with the tent on it, because you can place one here. And I remember going through this in the past, and people said it's just really tricky. And so I'm going to attempt for a little while to try to place a dirt tile right underneath that sign. Ooh, I got it. Okay, so if you go from this back corner here, you can absolutely put a dirt tile underneath that sign. It's going to be a little bit tricky because I also want to like curve all of these little corners. But all I was trying to do was create a dirt pad underneath the front of the campsite, just like that. And if we're going to be putting items like a generator and lantern and stuff, that's just kind of felt like the right call. Okay, there we go. That was nice and easy. So we'll put the generator back. We'll put the lantern somewhere. I actually think the lantern up front like that works. We can walk around it really easy. And it's on the dirt. Yeah. Okay, this is looking good. The camping cot next to the fire like this makes me a little bit nervous, but I also feel like I have the item. I gotta use it somewhere, even if it's not like my favorite thing for this kind of build, just because it doesn't make a lot of sense. At the same time, think about it. If they didn't bring any chairs, what would you sit on? If you wanted to like cook in your little campfire while you were camping and you forgot chairs, you would bring out your little camping cot and you'd sit on that. So it does make sense. I can absolutely justify it where it is. It's just, it's still making me nervous. So what if I pushed it back? Like right about here, at least we can walk in front of it now. So I do think that looks a little bit better to me. So for now, that's our campsite complete. And I say for now because if we're still at 4 stars tomorrow and we're desperately trying everything we can to get to 5, the campsite might become another point of interest for us. I also grabbed my mug that I had an extra one of. I threw a coffee cup design on it, and there, Zucker's little coffee station is complete. I'm realizing this picture actually makes no sense now that it's like a coffee place, but I can put a kettle here. I have this kettle right here. Also, my house is done. We're at S tier, and I was just going to leave everything in here as it is, but I'm actually going to take this sugar away and put something a little more appropriate. Put something a little more appropriate on this cart, because it's just been bothering me, this like bag of sugar facing the wrong direction. I have a few items, like Mom's tea cozy might be good, just like right here. Well, it's kind of falling off. Or one of these just fancy coffee cups. Yeah, that looks better to me. So yeah, we'll bring out the kettle. Is this the right item for here when I had the more appropriate one sitting on my stove in the house? Probably not, but I think it makes more sense than the classic pitcher at a place that's serving like warm, hot coffee. Now, another item I grabbed was the marketplace decoration. Oh, Sprinkle has a surprise for me. Oh, please be furniture. Furniture. Oh, is it a beard? Please be a beard. It's octagonal glasses. Dang it. That would have been too good to be true. They're not bad though. That's kind of fun. I'll keep them for now. Well, LaBelle's probably going to make us change anyway. But anyway, I grabbed the marketplace decoration. And originally when I set up Nooks, I thought I was creating a symmetrical thing where there's going to be a path and then areas around either side where we could put something. But then it turned into all of this. And so I'm probably not going to go with marketplace decorations here. Maybe I come back and do it. They might be better over here or maybe by the island entrance. Like coming in and having the big marketplace flags on either side of this is like an option, although everything else is just probably not the right color because they're green and you cannot customize them at all, which is a shame, by the way. And then I could also put them in front of the museum instead. But the problem is they're so tall, and we're gonna do all this work to try and like distract from the off-centeredness of the museum and the airport. I think if I put the banners here, they'll peek over the trees and then you'll be like, wait a minute, that's not symmetrical. I'm leaving. This island is terrible. I don't know. I have them and I really want to use them. I guess another area they might fit in is here. If I were to take both of the decorations that I've given to Abel's and I've given to Octavian, and I'd kind of pull them away from these corners, I could fit them in the little corners where these hedges are. One could go right. Oops. Oh, they're very big. Let me try this again. Uh-oh. Okay, just put this back. Nobody saw anything. Don't mind me, not messing anything up. Okay, they do kind of fit behind the buildings. That's kind of interesting. And then you could still get back here and use the loom, right? Yep. And then over here. Okay, to me that looks a lot more finished. And the colors aren't bad either. We're using the yellow pumpkins, and Octavian's house is red. So, you know what? I might keep those there. We're still going to add flowers here, too. This little tiny spot is going to be the most cluttered on the whole island. Oh, and I almost forgot. I have some cherry speakers as well that I made. I always thought that this area would be nice to kind of like add cherry stuff to. So I'm going to put these speakers, no, facing the little cherry garden is good. And we can register our new song, Cruisin', KK Cruisin'. Turn up the volume. We have some music playing while people come here and either read a book under the cherry trees or just start stealing from the cherry trees. And then the last thing I bought was the fortune cookie cart, which I can put here. This could go in so many places. It kind of feels like outside of Nooks is appropriate. And we can kind of put it like that. It does feel like if I put it here, we need even more stuff going on behind Nooks, or behind the fortune cookie cart, like right here. And that might not be a problem. We might actually be able to fill this in with something kind of neat. And if not, then I will put it somewhere else. It just feels like it needs to be among a lot of items. It needs to be a bit cluttered. And then you probably saw I had the wasp model on me. This is going to be one of the many random items cluttering up the woods up here. When you have a wooded area like this, it's just good to have items, whatever you can. So I might put that on top of a stump or something, but my plan is to make a bunch of stumps and log stakes and stuff and make it look like this is a forest that people are kind of chipping away at to maybe, I don't know, build their houses or something. But before I go randomly placing down logs and log stakes and everything, let me head over to resident services. And I think I'm just going to make a habit of checking every time I place down a bunch of stuff. Are we already at 5 stars? You might be thinking there's absolutely no way, but we were just on Whiz and I had at least four of those lilies that grow when you have 5 stars. And I got those before day 30. I had to have. So who knows? Unfortunately, no, though. We're still at 4 stars. Not a big surprise. Let's see what she critiques specifically. Compared to previous reports, Island's natural environment is getting positive feedback, so they're still happy with the trees and flowers. However, it says we need to improve the island's natural landscape. We have to work harder. Uh-oh, the critique here is specifically flowers. Okay, this makes me a little bit nervous. Whether I like it or not, I think I'm going to be spending a lot of Nook Miles today on traveling. We have 4,000, so we can visit a Nook Miles Island and a Captain Island. I think we can't afford not to do that. You would think a giant cluster of flowers would satisfy this criteria, but apparently we're not even close. In that case, what I'm going to do is something pretty extreme. I am emptying out my inventory of pretty much like every tool that I have. I'm going to craft an extra shovel. I'm going to bring extra food, and I'm going to go to the islands and just scoop up all the different flowers that I possibly can. I don't necessarily need foods for specifically the flowers, but I expect that with such an empty inventory, I'll also be able to grab the trees that I want, and the trees are also incredibly important to me. So I'm gonna bring just a few meals so I can like have energy in my belly to scoop up trees too. Okay, here's everything I'm bringing with me, and we'll start with a Captain Island. Looks like we got carrots on this one, but that is not what I'm here for. We have mums, we have red mums too. Which is great. And we have exactly the kind of trees I've been looking for. And we got a cooking DIY on this one, which a little disappointing. Plain cupcakes, even more disappointing. Those are called muffins, by the way. This island also has the same shrubs we're using, which I'm trying to decide if I want. I should have probably brought my ladder with me. A bunch of flowers I can't get. I forgot. I knew I was going to forget something really important, and I was thinking, well, Captain will sell me tools if I forget anything. He will not sell me a ladder. Yeah, no ladder. In that case, I think we'll just go ahead, take the rest of the trees, grab the shrubs, and be on our way. Oh, that is a shame because there's like a lot of good stuff up there. There's different trees. Oh well, it's okay. We did get pretty much everything we came for. Just, you know, not enough of it. To be fair, I suppose I could make a ladder. That's not impossible. If I have him sell me an axe, I could get the materials necessary to craft a ladder. It would take a little bit, but yeah, let's give it a try. For reference, the ladder is 4 of each type of wood, and we have 2 now after chopping these couple trees. I guess I'll have to replant some of the trees that I scooped up, only to then chop at them. I can only do this up to 5 times. I'm taking these trees with me. All right, just need one more piece of that. That's it right there, the regular wood. Perfect. I'm just gonna go ahead and break this axe because it's just another broken tool in the stamp book. There we go, that's done. And we can take our trees back. Okay, got our ladder. Now we can continue destroying the environment here on the island. All right, pretty much everything but one shrub I can fit in my inventory, as long as I want to keep my new ladder, which I do. And I do want to keep any extra types of wood we get just because I am that low. And yeah, I got every flower and I got all the trees I wanted. That's definitely the most important thing. I don't even know where we're going to put these shrubs, but I figure we should probably get them. All right, before we go to the next island, now I got to find places for all this stuff. Obviously, the #1 place we want the trees is here. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about it by now. So we'll pull the park clock up a little bit and we'll begin deciding where we want these trees just by digging up a little bit of the area. All right, so I have 4 evenly spaced holes right here. I'm not going to tell you how long it took me to get these holes in the orientation that I wanted them because it's a bit embarrassing, but just know that I'm not good at math. So there's probably right here a good amount of trees now that will, you know, set up a nice backdrop for a little bus stop or, you know, airplane hangout. And I think they'll do a good job covering up the museum. So just like that. No, I do like this. I think this is good. Now the museum's back there. You could definitely tell if you're paying attention that it's not lined up, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is all lined up and it looks good. How does it look over here though? And I would say it looks fine. I mean, you're mostly not probably gonna be paying too much attention to the tops of the trees and where they fall compared to the museum. If you are, it's only because I'm pointing it out so much probably. So, you know, it'll be fine. As for our shrubs, maybe we put like an orange one here on either side. Again, just trying to clutter this area up a little bit more. And now we definitely have some shrubs to spare. Honestly, just those couple of things make this whole area feel so different. I like it a lot. I'm gonna move this park clock. I'm actually gonna put it on the other side since there's more space between this house and, you know, our waiting area compared to resident services in the waiting area. And I know I need to like figure out what to do with the furniture around these two houses. I'm probably not gonna keep this birdhouse here. In fact, just get rid of it now. I'm probably not gonna keep the clothesline there. We gotta really kind of do some quick work there. But yeah, park clock can just go right here, and that does a nice job of kind of filling in this visual gap we have by this literal gap with the hedges. I mean, maybe I could push it back one more and pull it in one more just so we can see it from here, and we can. Yeah, that looks good. The red mums can finally make their way on top of this little hill here, as we were trying to do before. And then as I organize my inventory a little bit just to get a count of everything we have here, we have more white mums than anything, then 4 yellows, 2 reds, and this is like the breakdown of the different trees and shrubs we currently have to find homes for, or just sell. I think the most important thing is to get the mums placed down and then just see what Isabel says. Will she then switch to like, oh, well, now we don't have enough trees or something like that? Will she still want more flowers? We should probably make that judgment call, you know, one step at a time. So I think scooping up all the windflowers from our little forest up here and replacing them with mums makes sense because the other like highest cliff point on the island has mums on it, so we can kind of carry that over to this spot now. I will say this spot is kind of begging for some kind of tree, and we do happen to have one fully grown cedar, so we'll just plant that right here at least. And I'm also gonna be planting these shrubs along the way as well. Okay, last shrub by the entrance ramp here. I think a shrub next to a ramp like that always looks good. And then I just have a red mum and a white mum. Guess I'll put the red one back here in front of this tree. Ooh, oh, I don't have my slingshot. No, oh gosh. There's no way I can get that in time, right? It's all the way at the entrance. There's no way. Okay, got the slingshot here. If I run up along the beach, maybe? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not seeing a shadow. I'm not hearing it. Okay. Wait. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, I'm about to lose it. It's just so far. Oh, wow. That should be an Olympic sport right there. And we got a cushion as the as the item, as our reward for this. Let's see. It is, oh, look at that. Yep, as advertised. Honestly, that's a pretty good item. They're very versatile, especially if you customize them with stuff. Like, you can make a little bag of something. It could just be a seat. So that's a good one. I wish we would have had that yesterday so that I could have ordered more from the Nook stop, but that's okay. One is more than we had. Faith is thinking, I don't think this is a leaving bubble because Faith wasn't thinking earlier today. I wanted a cushion, but they're all sold out. I knew I should have jumped on that when I had the chance. No. Just my luck. I'm like sitting here actively talking about all the reasons a cushion is a great item, and then they try to steal it from me. Anyway, so our last mum will just go right there in the back. And yeah, I've started to clutter this area and make it feel a little more like a forest. If I can get more of these trees on our next island, that'll be even better. Speaking of next island though, where we probably won't need to go, if Isabel's like, oh, no, you did it. You're at 5 stars now. Actually, we shouldn't even check. I just remembered I put a whole bunch of stuff on the ground, and that's exactly what everyone's going to talk about. This is the most frustrating part of having your inventory completely full. Just trying to, like, juggle all the different scenarios in which, like, okay, I need to decorate, but I need things to be in my storage. The things can't be on the ground. People are going to complain, so on and so forth. You know, one thing we could do to alleviate some of the storage pain is get rid of some of this wheat and replace it with some of the other food that I'm saving. Because this like 3 stacks of wheat right here give you a lot of flour and stuff. So we don't really need that much. I also have cherries and coconuts, which I don't see myself crafting with a whole lot. Okay, I'll keep the cherries just in case. And I'll get rid of the coconuts. I don't think I have any coconut crafting recipes anyway. We're definitely not going to be using the saplings anymore either, or the tea olive starts or anything like that, because we, you know, are past that point. So yeah, I'm going to sell all of that stuff, and then that should get some things off the ground. Okay, now let's look at the evaluation. Still at 4 stars. Let's see if flowers are no longer a thing though. Granted, I did pick some up to plant some other ones, so they could be. Yeah, island's natural environment. Let's get more greenery on this island by planting fruit and saplings. When it comes to tree varieties, we could really branch out. Wow, okay. That's completely unnecessary. I can't resist such low-hanging fruit. Seriously, like, you have to stop. Well, luckily for us, we did happen to grab 4 cherry trees, which, I mean, 4 fully grown cherry trees probably wouldn't look too bad right now when it comes to our island rating if fruit is the complaint, that, you know, we don't have enough fruit trees. So yeah, I think the perfect spot to put those is indeed behind resident services. We have all this area here that I don't know what to do with anyway. I just don't want them to line up perfectly. Let's see. Put one here. Yeah, I'm glad I let the fruit stay on the tree. I wonder if it counts as a fruit tree, if the fruit is shaken off the tree. And as I said earlier, we're definitely going to do something with this area and this pergola, and that's going to include trees, I think. I also got to figure out what I'm going to do with these money trees. Okay, so, should we start working on this? All right, unfortunately, I think this rock is in the way, so we'll get rid of this. And the goal here is to maybe have an excuse for like a path between these two houses that is kind of like a nature-y way of getting over to Molly's house from Samson's. So we could put this kind of in the middle here. The problem is, as much as I want this to be kind of part of a larger path setup, Octavian has fleas, this area is way too big and empty. And I kind of feel like it's a disservice, the pergola, to put it in such a cramped environment when we have all this space we have to figure out. So actually what I'm going to do is get rid of this tree. And by get rid of, I mean just kind of like, gotta find another spot for it. For now, just back here is fine. I think all the money trees will eventually move. And I think what makes more sense is to actually get a dirt path between this house here and then like have it go through the pergola or something and go to like Samson's or something like that. I don't know. Let's play around a little bit, shall we? So I'm going to create a 2-wide path, and it's going to not connect to this path here, okay? This needs to feel like a natural stopping point, but then you're like, oh wait, what's back here? And then you kind of find yourself on a completely different road. And that road kind of twists and turns in little interesting ways. It's not really clear why. And eventually leads you to Molly's front door, as well as the beach and over into town again. It looks a bit odd, and I wouldn't normally do paths like this, but that's kind of the point. I want it to look a bit odd. I want it to look like paths that I wouldn't normally do. Oops, all of my tools are not where I usually keep them. We got the acorn rug. That would have been nice to have a couple days ago. Of course, I'll be tapering off all the corners. And with this very strange path, I just need to figure out where the pergola would go. Because I want it to go over some of the path. I want it to be something you kind of walk through. Unfortunately, I think that would be like right here. That would be like the most ideal spot. And that's exactly where I don't have path. So I'll keep playing around. Okay, this one's a little less chaotic. This road right here kind of stays connected, if you will. And then there's this up here that goes to the house. There's this big empty dirt patch, and then down here to get to these houses. So the pergola can now go in the middle of this dirt patch, kind of like this. The only problem with that, of course, is that it literally blocks every walkway that it's supposed to be like enhancing. You walk here, boom, you hit this pillar. You walk on this side, boom, you hit this pillar. So I still did not do this very well. I guess I'm supposed to create like a 4-way intersection starting underneath the pergola and then, go from there. So I guess the pergola would need to move like one tile over, and then I suppose this road needs to just like come down this way. Okay. So maybe no weird wavy path. It'll make sense like why this is here the way it is, and you just walk under it. And now we have all this room around it to kind of play with, and we can plant hardwood trees and cherry trees, and they can all just be kind of here around the spot. Kind of like this. And just like looking at this area now with all the trees planted, it already looks a lot better. Like this is cool. I like walking around here. And again, still room for shrubs, still room for flowers if that's what we want to do. I'm guessing that's probably still going to be a thing. Like, well, there's not enough flowers now. But we'll see. We'll see. One more tree here wouldn't be bad. And yeah, it kind of like covers the path nicely, creates some shade. So since that assessment, we did plant 4 more fruit trees. Now Samson's thinking, is it about giving me a gift? He wants me to stop by. I'm gonna say sure. I don't want to. The last time this happened, I was taken hostage for quite a while. But I really want his photo, and maybe, who knows, maybe this pushes us over the edge for tomorrow. He's been saying the same 5 things over and over. He won't play a game with me, but he is letting me leave with Rockin' KK. I get another song. Oh, that was worth it. Okay, now I can go check the island rating. I'm pretty certain it's still gonna be at 4 stars, but right now, as you can tell, I've just figured I should probably go with the flow. Whatever Isabel says, I should probably just do. Still 4 stars, still natural environment is the thing. More greenery, more fruit saplings. Okay, so I have to go out yet again and like find even more fruit trees, it seems. But I need a break. I really do. Let's talk to LaBelle and see if I can get some shoes tomorrow. That would be nice. LaBelle has a lot of different socks and shoes, so the chances of her sending something like that in the mail tomorrow, if I do this, and if I win anyway, are pretty high. Or wait, she doesn't send those in the mail. I'll get them immediately. Okay, so yeah, we got to do this right now. She wants me to put on a party outfit. I probably have enough chaotic clothing to make this happen. A fancy soiree. Just imagine the fabulous clothes you'd wear. Okay, I'll give you some party clothing too. A space parka? I honestly thought I knew where she was going with that until I got the space parka. Okay. I don't really know if any of my full outfits here will get me through this one, but I think the small silk hat would probably count as a party item. I definitely think a jester's mask has got to work. And I still don't have any shoes, and I have these bags. I don't know if any of them would count towards a party outfit. I don't know if they would take points off. Like the fish pouchette, is that any more odd than the small silk hat? I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with this. I'm nervous. I just want a pair of shoes. That's really, truly all I want. I'll take socks too, because I can always get shoes from the river if I fish enough. Oh, I have to wear a top and a bottom. Okay, I gotta go get my pants back. Actually, should I wear the label shorts? It kind of goes with the, hoodie I have, and they are label shorts. So, I don't know, would you wear these to a party? She's definitely gonna have some really strong opinions about her own line. Like this, they still look like basketball shorts at the end of the day. Okay, no. I'm gonna wear these. Nothing is really going our way today for the most part. I mean, we did get the island we need, but it would be really nice to just like end the day with a pair of shoes. I see, yes. Wonderful, that's it exactly. Oh, that's so good. That's probably the maximum amount of Taylor's tickets right there when you get that response. Please take this. Shoes. Oh, no. A label knit shirt. This was my last chance to get label shoes. Oh, man. I guess it kind of goes with the shorts, but we have just failed. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to call the day there. It has been a very, very long one for me. I don't know how long it's going to be when it's all edited up, but thanks for watching. Tomorrow, we have to figure this out. We have to get 5 stars. We'll see what happens. That video, the last one, will be right there when it's ready. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.